So check this out, people. So I'm chilling. It's Friday and I'm working, right? I wanted to talk about something that we go through, right? As grown-ups, right? You guys ever notice that in life, right? We meet people, right? We get to know them, they get to know us. And you know, you meet a woman, for example, right? You court her, you love her, she loves you, everything is good, right? And then for some reason, for whatever reason, right? Life happens, right? Things happen, because that's life, things happen. And then you become distant, right? And after you become distant, for whatever reason, you guys begin to dislike each other or hate each other even, right? Because I see it all the time. This happens regularly, right? Especially with women, right? Because women are very emotional and they get very sensitive with certain things, you know? And sometimes you get into a relationship with a woman, right, that you care about, and things don't work out. Right? For whatever reason, it's life, things happen, right? And then you guys break up. And after you break up, she doesn't look at you the same, she doesn't talk to you the same, she doesn't treat you the same. As far as she's concerned, and as far as you're concerned, you guys don't even know each other. You never even met, right? And that's something that's never gonna make sense to me, how it is that friends can become enemies, right? You have total strangers who greet each other, right? Have conversation, and then you move on. And that person that you had the conversation with, for example, on a bus, on a train, wherever, right? You remember them, right? You remember the person you met while you were out, whatever, right? The conversation you had, right? And you might say to yourself, oh, he was cool, she was cool, whatever, right? In life, you meet people. What I cannot understand is why it is that once you've met someone, right, and you've gotten to know them, first you were strangers, then you were friends, then you became lovers, right? Then you go full circle in this life, in this relationship. And after being strangers and after becoming friends and then becoming lovers, you now become distant, you now separate, and then you begin to hate each other. Now, what used to be casual hellos by phone, by text, if you ran into each other on the streets, anywhere, right? Then now the woman doesn't look at you the same, right? Now she's giving you dirty looks. Now she doesn't like you. I'm never gonna understand how it is that two people who were once friends, who were once in love, cannot get past whatever issues they may have had in the relationship and simply move on like grown-ups, right? And you know, I've been in relationships where the person I'm with, I care about them. I care about them. I don't care about them because I'm in a relationship with them. I don't care about them because they care about me. I care about them because I care about them. It doesn't matter if the relationship continues or if the relationship ends. It doesn't matter. When you love someone, you love them. Just like I love my brother. Just like I love my sisters, just like I love my friends, right? And when I stop having a conversation with my brother, right, or we get into some argument or whatever, and we separate for a while, distant, right? Because things happen, life happens, right? We get it. We're grown. We're not kids, right? But you continue to love your brother. You continue to love your sister, your mother, your family, right? Things happen. People argue. People fight. People become distant. It doesn't mean you have to become enemies. It doesn't mean you have to hate each other. It just doesn't make any sense to me that, look, I have a friend, right? Really close, who I care about dearly. I really care about this girl. Right? I care about her because when I met her, I pursued her, right? And then once I was able to, get her and she became mine, I was happy, I was glad, I loved her. Things didn't work out. Things weren't the way I would have liked, right? Because things happen, shit happens, right? It happens because you get to know people, and once you get to know them, you figure out, she's not right for me, he's not right for me, he's not good for me, she's not good for me. Then you move on to someone who is good for you or right for you, right? But does that mean that you have to hate the person you once loved? Does that mean you have to hate the person you once cared for and disrespect them and treat them as if though they were no one to you, nobody, not even a stranger, because you treat strangers better than you do the people you once loved? Does that make any sense to any grown-up out there? Because it doesn't make any sense to me. It don't make sense to me that I could be in love with someone and she could be in love with me, and time goes by, and that time that goes by causes the person who loved you to not love you anymore. It doesn't make sense. I love people who I loved when I was 15. And I'm no spring chicken. I'm a grown-ass man who probably, if he's lucky, got 25 years left, right? And I've been in relationships when I was 15, and I still love her. I'm not in love with her, right? But I love her. She's my family. She will always be. Because we were strangers, then we became friends, then we became lovers. That made us family for life. And for some reason, you got these grown-ass men and grown-ass women who don't know how to act, don't know how to be, who take it personal, who get angry when, for whatever reason, things don't work out, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So, we meet people in life. We're always going to meet new people. It doesn't matter. I'm only going to hate the person who does me wrong. I'm only not going to like the people who don't like me and who don't do good to me. But if I have someone who's good to me, and for whatever reason, things don't work out, she didn't cheat, I didn't cheat, she didn't do me wrong, I didn't do her wrong, what's the problem? Why does it have to be so bad? Why does the argument, why does the breakup have to be so freaking stressful for everybody? Why can't you just move on? Why is it wrong for me to call you later on and say, hey, how you doing? How are the kids? How's your father? How's your mother? How's your son? How's your daughter? Is everything okay? What's the problem? Because now we're no longer strangers. Now we're no longer friends. Now we're no longer lovers. Now we're enemies. You see how life is, right, people? Do you see how life is? This is why most of the time it's better, especially for men, to stay alone, to date. To date as frequently and as often as possible. That way you don't find yourself in stupid, compromising situations where you're going to feel like an asshole because the woman you love, the woman you care for, or the man in your relationship just doesn't know how to be mature enough, grown enough to respect you, right? And to say, okay, I get it. I understand, right? You don't want to be with me. I don't want to be with you. We don't want to be together. We can't be together. Whatever the reason, whatever. If he's never been bad to you, why are you bad to him? If she's never been bad to you, why are you bad to her? If she was good to you when you were together and things didn't work out because you guys clashed, move the fuck on. Move on. But if she calls and texts you and says, hey, Tanko, how are you? I know things didn't work out between us, but you were good to me. You're a nice guy. Everything between us is friends. We're cool. I don't understand what the problem is. You don't want to talk no more after that. You don't want to communicate with him or with her for whatever reasons, because you can't, because you love her or you love him so much that you rather just move on. Then do that. But you don't have to hate, disrespect, or do harm to the person who you once loved or cared for just because you're trying to let go or move on for whatever reason, or whatever your reason is, whether it's that reason or other reasons. It's never going to make sense to me how people who say they love each other or who once loved each other all of a sudden hate each other. That is pathetic. That is ridiculous. That is so immature. And this is why the majority of times, I can't speak for women outside of America because I only know what I know. But this is why the majority of women in this country are alone. At 40, they can't find a man, they can't keep a man, they can't hold a man because they weren't good to the men who pursued them when they were young. They weren't interested in the men who were pursuing them when the man wanted them, right? And now that they're older, in their 40s, mid-40s, they're alone, they're trying to find a man. It's too late because men are pursuing the other women who are not in their 40s, right? They're not. Not only are men not pursuing women in their 40s, but women in their 40s are trying to find a man who is so fed up with women, right? And is so fed up with the way women treat men these days that men don't care to show interest in women. Hit it and quit it. That's it. I was watching a video a little while ago on YouTube while I'm sitting here, right? Because I'm just sitting around waiting at work, right? And while I'm watching the video, in the video, the woman, it was a black woman, and she was talking about how or why black men don't pursue black women, right? And she was saying how when you're a black woman, people don't see you. They just see black. They just see a black woman. They don't see her as a woman. This is what she's saying, right? And she's saying that black men don't see black women for whatever nonsense she was trying to describe, right? As if though black men aren't interested in black women because they're black. Because we know that's not the reason. We know that there are black women all over the world, in the Caribbean, South America, Spanish-speaking countries like the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Puerto Rico, everywhere, right? And they all in a mix and everything. We all do that, right? In South America, Puerto Rico, and all of these Caribbean islands, unlike here in the US, which is a little shaky for some people, right? But the fact is this, that black men are not pursuing black women because black women are ghetto as hell. They don't know how to act. It's not just black men who aren't pursuing black women. It's all men who are not pursuing black women. Listen, not every black woman is ghetto. Not every black woman don't know how to act, right? Because I've dated black women, classy women with good jobs, good educations, responsibilities, homes of their own, set, maintain their life, and well established. Black women, but they're not ghetto. They're not ghetto. And that's the difference between being ghetto black and being black. The fact is that if men don't want to date black women, it's because y'all don't know how to fucking act. Y'all ladies are ghetto as hell. You don't know how to dress. You got this stinky ass weave on that y'all don't take off. Fake asses, yeah, that too. I was gonna say eyelashes, but I'm gonna leave the ass in there too. Fake eyelashes, all this makeup, all this perfume, that when you walk into the room, bro, people can't even breathe. Nothing about the majority of black women in this country is real. Not their hair, not their nails, not their ass. The only thing real about them is their ghetto ass attitude. On the bus, they're loud. On the train, they're loud. At work, on the phone. Bro, nobody respects people who don't have no class. This isn't a black and white thing. This is a class thing. You got class or you don't got class. And if you're a woman with class, you're going to get a man. It doesn't matter if he's black. It doesn't matter if he's white. You're going to find a man and you're going to hold on to a man. But if you're a ghetto ass black woman, you ain't going to find nothing but exactly what you are. You're going to find a man who's like you, who don't know how to talk, who don't know how to act, who got no class, who plays video games while you're out working so that you can pay for your new weed, for you new nails, new eyelashes, and all the fake stuff that you walk around in. And then you want a real man, right? So I've been thinking about this, right? After I watched that video and after just contemplating on some things, because it's important. We meet people in life. We're gonna meet people everywhere we go. It doesn't matter, at home, at the street, at work, on the bus, Walmart, you name it, we're gonna meet people. And when you do, there is no reason to take a perfect person who you didn't know, a perfect stranger who was just fine, and now all of a sudden you hate him. Now all of a sudden you don't like him. Now all of a sudden you don't want to talk to him. Now all of a sudden he annoys you. How about you grow up and simply walk away? How about that? How about you say, hey, it was nice, but it's not nice now, right? I'm never gonna understand people. I'm never gonna understand someone who says they love you and they hurt you, they disappear on you, they do. And I'm not saying that they hurt you like, look, in relationships, things happen, right? People do things. And there's certain things that you can't forgive, and there's certain things you can't forgive, right? And those things that you can't forgive and move on. It's not that freaking serious. And if there's something you can't forgive, say goodbye, or don't say anything at all. Just leave. Block the person, disappear, and he'll never see you again. And you'll never see him again. Because time heals all wounds, and time changes all minds, right? So, this is something I wanted to talk about because, I've had relationships that, they don't always work out. But the majority of the times when they don't work out, it doesn't mean that the person who it didn't work out with in a relationship, we can't just be cool. We can't just, if I run into you in the street, I can't just say hi. I can't text you and say, how you doing? Is everything okay? Do you need anything? Do you have to stop being friends? Do you have to stop being family? Bro, talk about being pathetic, how grown people are. Children. I remember when I was a little boy, right? And I would fight with my friends, right? We'd fight, we'd argue, we'd even fist fight, right? Because that's how it was when you're a boy and when you're a kid. Where I grew up, that's how it was, right? Literally the very freaking next day, without anybody saying sorry, without anybody saying anything, as if though nothing happened, we're right back again, talking, playing, doing what kids do. So why is it that grown-ups can't do the same and do what grown-ups do when they break up? When they're no longer friends? See each other, say hi, it's over, move on. You gotta hurt the person, right? You gotta intentionally do them harm. It doesn't make any sense. Men, women are evil. Women are, when a woman doesn't like you, right? Women don't hate people they don't know. Women don't dislike men they don't know. They only hate the men they love. They only dislike the men they once loved, right? And it's that's never gonna make sense to me. Never. But anyway, this is something that's been on my mind. And then after watching that video about that black woman talking about how black men don't see black women, women are so freaking, women are such a headache. They're such a headache. This is why the majority of men in the US are no longer interested in dating. All we do is work. We buy our cars, we buy our phones, we hang out with the fellas, we travel outside the country, we do everything we gotta do without the presence of a girlfriend or woman who's gonna hold us down, beat us down, abuse us, mistreat us. And then if for whatever reason things don't work out, it's not over then. She still continues to hate you. She still continues to want to do you harm because all she wishes for you is the worst. Because it didn't work out. Because you got to move on, right? Anyway, I'm a mess. It's hot today. Yesterday was 90 degrees and it was cooler yesterday than today. That is 77 degrees. It's so freaking humid today. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm a mess. I haven't shaven and I'll do that tonight. Anyway, thank you people for watching. Have a good day and have a good night.